What's up, guys? Diego from SGN back with another video, and this time it's going to be my top 5 greatest Real Madrid players of all time. And before I get into the main list, I want to go ahead and give an honorable mention to one of the greatest strikers to ever live, and really at his peak, one of the best players alive, one of the most talented players alive, and it's Brazilian Ronaldo. Ronaldo El Fenomeno, R9. Really, he should be on this list, but unfortunately for him, when he got to Real Madrid, he already had quite a few injury problems when he was Inter Milan, so he wasn't quite at his peak. If this was an Inter Milan video, he would without a doubt be on the list and possibly even number 1. But with Real Madrid having such a deep history, having so many players that are not just the face of their generation, not just the face of their decade, or even their 20 years, but they're the face of football. You know what I mean? They have players that transcend football and really go beyond what just about every other player in the history of football has ever done. So with Ronaldo not being on the main list, it's not saying that he's not talented enough. He wouldn't have enough skill when he was there. He didn't win enough. It's just a matter of he was past his prime. And realistically, compared to the other players on this list, he didn't win quite as much, and he wasn't as important to Real Madrid's success in the seasons that these guys were on, as much as they were. So it's not a knock on Ronaldo. He was still a phenomenal player, and realistically, if he'd have stayed fit, if he hadn't had all those injuries, he possibly would have been the greatest player of all time. He had that talent. He had that level of dominance. So it's definitely not a knock on him. It's just, unfortunately, when he got to Real Madrid, he wasn't quite the same Ronaldo we saw at Inter Milan and probably even Barcelona. So he was still a phenomenal player, just not one of the best players of Real Madrid's history. Moving on to the main list, we have number 5, Sergio Ramos. Ramos signed for Real Madrid in 2005 from Sevilla and initially had quite a few issues. He scored 20 goals in the first few years there, but he also received the first 9 of his 24 total red cards, with 4 coming in his debut season. He played as center back until Christoph Metzelder and Pepe arrived, and then he was moved to right back where he really started to show his quality. He scored a goal in the 3-3 draw with Barcelona that went a long way in securing Real Madrid's 30th La Liga title, and he never turned back from there. The following season, he assisted a Gonzalo Higuain goal late on in a match against Osasuna that secured Real Madrid's 31st title. 2009 is the year in which Sergio Ramos truly started to reach his peak. He became one of the best center backs in the world and was a constantly reliable force for Real Madrid. He became Real Madrid's captain in 2015, which just so happens to be the year that they really started to reign terror over Europe, scoring in the Champions League final. He went on to captain Real Madrid to another 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and who knows, they may make it 4 in the next season. He has won every single trophy possible except for a Ballon d'Or, including a World Cup and 2 Euros. In total, he has won 4 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reys, 3 Spanish Super Cups, 4 Champions Leagues, 3 UEFA Super Cups, and 3 FIFA Club World Cups. Love him or hate him, he has been one of the best players in the world for almost a decade. Number 4 is Zinedine Zidane. Zizou joined Real Madrid in 2001 for around €77 million, smashing the previous world record fee. Everybody already knew he was one of, if not the best player on earth, but he silenced all doubters in the Champions League final when he scored one of the most iconic goals of all time. The way he was able to strike the ball so perfectly, with the ball falling from such a high trajectory, goes to show how technically skilled he was and intelligent he was as a player. That amazing goal led Real Madrid to winning the Champions League in his first season in the Spanish capital, and the next season he led Real to win the La Liga title and won his 3rd Ballon d'Or. He was voted the best European footballer of the previous 50 years by fans in 2004. His final season with Real Madrid ended with no trophies, but it was still a great personal season for Zizou. He scored a hat-trick against Sevilla and was Madrid's 2nd leading goal scorer and assist provider, behind Ronaldo and David Beckham. Number 3 is Raul. Raul was one of the best Spanish players of all time and spent 16 glorious years with Real Madrid, earning himself the recognition of being one of Los Blancos' greatest players of all time and one of their most important players of all time. He was surpassed as Real Madrid's all-time leading goal scorer by Cristiano Ronaldo very recently, and he scored a total of 323 goals in a club record 741 appearances. He was also the 3rd highest goal scorer in Champions League history, behind only Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi. He was Real Madrid's captain from 2003 until he left the club in 2010. He was a part of the Madrid side that won the league in 1994, and from then on, he was pretty much always a regular first-team star for the club, achieving greatness and being renowned worldwide for his goal scoring and his leadership. In total, he won 6 La Liga titles, 4 Spanish Super Cups, 3 Champions Leagues, a UEFA Super Cup, and 2 Intercontinental Cups. Number 2 is Alfredo Di Stefano. Di Stefano is an Argentinian striker best known for his time spent with Real Madrid and is regarded as one of the best players of all time. He played for Los Blancos in the 1950s and 1960s and was an important part of arguably the best team of all time. He scored in 5 consecutive European Cup finals from 1956 to 1960, including a hat-trick in the last in what is one of the best performances ever in football. He had an amazing partnership with fellow legend Frederic Puskas and scored 308 goals in 396 appearances for Real Madrid from 1953 to 1964. He won the Ballon d'Or in 1957 and 1959, and he won a total of 1 Intercontinental Cup, 5 European Cups, 8 Primera División titles, and a Copa del Rey. And the greatest Real Madrid player of all time is, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, aka the greatest footballer of all time in my opinion. As good as he was, nobody could have possibly foreseen him reaching such a higher level at his peak. Over 80,000 fans attended the Bernabeu for his presentation, which was the most since 75,000 people attended Diego Maradona's presentation in Napoli. His season started off with a bang, scoring in his first 4 league matches and scoring 2 against Zenit in the Champions League opener. He finished his first season with 33 goals, his second with 42, and his third with 53. The next season, Ronaldo set another personal best, scoring 61 goals in all competitions and winning his second consecutive Ballon d'Or. In the 2015-2016 season, Ronaldo became Real Madrid's all-time leading goal scorer and the highest goal scorer in Champions League history. He led Real Madrid back to the Champions League final, where he scored the decisive penalty to secure their 11th Champions League title, winning his 4th Ballon d'Or. He became the highest goal scorer in La Liga history and reached 100 goals in the Champions League. In the 2016-2017 season, Ronaldo led Real Madrid to their first La Liga title since 2012 and to their 12th Champions League, scoring 2 in the final against Juventus, being the first team to win consecutive European Cups since Milan did it in 1989 and 1990. Ronaldo then won his 5th Ballon d'Or. Real Madrid reached the Champions League final for the 3rd consecutive season, scoring one of the greatest goals of all time against Juventus in the quarterfinals, receiving a standing ovation at the Juventus Stadium. Real Madrid dominated Liverpool in the final, securing their 13th Champions League title, winning it for the 3rd consecutive year, and marking the end of Cristiano Ronaldo's amazing Real Madrid career. He scored a total of 450 goals in 438 matches and won a total of 2 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reys, 2 Spanish Super Cups, 4 Champions Leagues, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 3 FIFA World Cups, as well as leading Portugal to their very first Euro Cup in 2016. And that is it for this list. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with the players I picked to be on this list and which ones would you put in there, who would you replace. Let me know all these things in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, that way you're notified every single time a video comes out, which is really the only way that YouTube will even give me any recognition. And also, please share the video. That's extremely helpful and I appreciate anybody who does that. Once again, guys, thank you so much to all my subscribers, everybody who tunes into all these videos. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I will see you in the next video.